He's delivered powerful performances in Hollywood films from Slumdog Millionaire and The Amazing Spider-Man to A Mighty Heart with Angelina Jolie. And now actor Irrfan Khan, he is pushing his limits again in the new movie The Life of Pi, where he plays a grown-up Pi, a boy who is shipwrecked with a Bengal tiger for 227 days. Welcome to the Wall Street Journal, Irrfan. Appreciate your being here. So, had you read the book Life of Pi before you were in the movie?
I've heard about the book, but I never read it until Ang offered me the part. And even then, you know, I was not eager to read it until I'm signed for the part, because what happens as an actor, you start investing emotionally to the subject. You start getting, you know, attached to the subject. Unless and until, you know, you are sure that you are going to do, you know, after that I started reading the book.
What did you think after you read it?
You cannot imagine what's there in the book. You know, it's beyond your imagination, and the kind of things he deals with. On the surface, it's about a boy and tiger in the boat, and you know, but it deals with so issues which are so intrinsic with human beings. You know, which are necessity of human beings since they are born on this planet.
Your role is tricky in that you're playing an older version of Pi in the movie. There's obviously a young man playing the younger version for much of the film. Do you all have to coordinate how you act this role, since you are the same person? I've always wondered about that when there's a younger and an older version of a character.
In this film particularly, there was no need to do that, because you know Ang has done the casting, so he has done those kind of things automatically. If there would have been a need, Ang Lee would have definitely told us that, you know, watch him, see him, you know, so we were relying on him.
And he had, the younger Pi, he had very little acting experience, if any, before he played this role. Do you think that helped make him a better Pi?
I think people who have never acted, people who are fresh, they bring in something very raw, which is rare, which it's difficult for a practicing actor to bring that, because practicing actor sometimes has his own, you know, a method, and that becomes a cage after a point. You know, you are no more a childlike. You have a kind of system backing up. You know, a system which secures you. Right. So you start relying on that, and that's a kind of, you know, that's also becomes your limitation. I think the kind of age he was in, and he was given this part, this whole experience will change him for his life.
Have you found a part for you that you carry with all your life yet? Have you found the part that you think is the epitome?
Yeah, I think there were parts which has changed my life completely.
Like what?
Like there was a film called The Warrior. I was doing television and I was bored of acting, and I wanted to quit this profession, and I was losing passion for acting. And at that time that film came, and I lived with that film for 3 months, and suddenly, you know, everything changed for me. Everything changed. I rediscovered my passion, and I was longing to work in film, cinema, not in television. After finishing the shoot, I couldn't work for 6 months, and I was easy with it. I was not, you know, anxious, or my wife was a little anxious.
I'm sure, right. But it fulfilled something in you.
Yeah. It does something to you, and that's the point of being in this business of storytelling. You know, unless and until it does something to you, you know, it should mold you.
I'm wondering how the film A Mighty Heart, which you were in with Angelina Jolie, changed you. That's obviously a very important story to us here at the Wall Street Journal, because it tells about the abduction of Daniel Pearl, a journalist here, and his murder after September 11th. How did you prepare for that role? You know, knowing they were very real people you were representing, these weren't fictional people. And was that a hard movie to make?
Well, it was a hard story to know that something happened like that. It was a hard story to accept that we have to play that. You rarely come across these kind of things. What attracted me to the book was Marion Pearl's attitude towards the whole tragedy, her vulnerability, and still examining herself all the time. Because she's writing a book, you know, when she got the perspective on that, definitely. But still what comes across from the book is something very new. that a woman who's going through this tragedy but is still trying to keep herself intact,
Yeah.
you know, emotionally, although
Right.
she's so vulnerable. And that vulnerability was her heroism. And I don't know whether the film could capture that or not.
Is there a role you crave to play in Hollywood? Is there a role you haven't played that you want to play?
It's not just Hollywood. As an actor, you have so many things, so many prototypes. Let me call it, you know, in your personalities. And what this business does to you, you know, it lets you play those prototypes, lets you live those prototypes. You know, there might be a joker inside me, there might be an evil person inside me, there might be a rock star inside me. You know,
A rock star inside you. I can see you as a rock star. I can see your next part as that. What about Pi? Did that character just jump onto you?
No,
or- no.
it was this part was so slow to come to me. It was refusing to come to me.
Why do you
And
think that is?
I don't know. I can find out reasons. I can give different reasons. But I think this part was asking me to redefine my method, the way I approach the character, you know. Because it was demanding to work on different levels. To have a command on the book itself is such a humongous task.
Right.
So, you know, this part really asked me to work. It really I needed to work on a different levels, and that took really time. You know, it took a lot of time.
Well, the movie's getting great critical reviews so far. Irfan Khan, thanks so much for being with us.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate it.
Mhm.